And we are live. We are live. Hello, hello, guys. We are so excited that you are on with us today. You're hearing a little sound there. Maybe you want to turn yours down. I'll turn mine's down too. It's like a little like a sound, right? So I want us to get in a space where we are waiting, and we just want to get some people on today. And so we want to give you some time to get on. And why not? Why not? While we're waiting, I want to share a video with you guys about our topic, and it is about mental health. It's a 2 minute. Maybe within those 2 minutes, I can get some more of you guys on. We want to have a conversation. Yes, we want to have a conversation. That's what this is about. So, in order for us to do that, of course, Deborah and I, we can go all day and have it, but we want to include you guys on the conversation. And so we want you all to, come on in, be prepared to ask some questions, be prepared to, give us some even feedback. Like I said, we're in this together. And so today, just want to do a little quick YouTube on mental health for you.
Mental illness can affect anyone.
There we go.
Mental health affects how
you can hear it, guys. Want to make sure they hear it because we're giving you time to get on. Here we go.
Mental illness can affect anyone. Mental health affects how we feel, think, and act. It's important at every stage of life so that we can cope with stressful situations, work productively, and make meaningful contributions to our community. However, the statistics are staggering. Over 45% of teens suffer from a mental disorder, and 1 in 5 teens suffer from a severe mental illness. That's 20% of our teen population. Mental illnesses are brain function disorders. They have many causes and result from complex interactions between a person's genes and their environment. A person struggling with mental health should not be viewed any different than if someone were experiencing a physical illness. Mental illness is not a choice or a failure. It does not discriminate. It can affect anyone, regardless of age, gender, social status, ethnicity, or any other aspect of cultural identity. In fact, mental illnesses occur at similar rates around the world, in every culture and in all socioeconomic groups. The concern with mental health isn't just about the statistics. It's about well-being. It can affect families, friends, and our communities. But you can help make a difference by learning to recognize the signs of mental illness. A mental illness makes the things you do in life hard, like work, school, and socializing. It's also not always clear when a problem with mood or thinking has become serious enough to be a concern. Sometimes a depressed mood is normal, such as when a person experiences the loss of a loved one. But if that depressed mood continues to cause distress or gets in the way of normal daily functioning, the person may benefit from professional care. If you think you or someone you know might be struggling with their mental health, it is best to consult a professional. Early identification and effective treatment is key to treating a disorder and preventing future disability. A healthcare professional will connect symptoms and experiences to help formulate a diagnosis. Suicide is the second leading cause of death for young people between 10 to 24. If you're thinking about suicide, are worried about a friend or loved one, or would like emotional support, call 1-800-273-8255.
Awesome. And that was the information for that mental health space. So we're so excited for the opportunity to continue engaging in this conversation. All right, there we go. We're so excited to continue to engage in the conversation. The video was pretty awesome. And while we were waiting, we got 5 people on. Pow, pow, pow. So for everybody that's getting on, I want you to come on and say hello. How are you doing? We are in, again, a time where we are discussing third week of this mental health space, the third week. So yes, Deborah, let's get into it. Let's talk about it.
It's been great these last few weeks talking about mental health. I'm really excited about the one for tonight. We're going to be talking about self. and self-care and what we can do and why it's so important. Like you think about when you're on an airplane, they say when you're putting on the mask, they say you put your mask on first before you before you help others put theirs on, because you can't do for others if you don't do for yourself first. So right now, like, it's so important to take care of yourself in every aspect of the world. And
Which is yeah, what we call it tonight, right?
yeah.
It's selfie time because it's all about
Yay. We all love taking selfies. So I think that we all need a little self-care especially in this season.
yeah, and so we talked about, this idea, and again, for whoever's getting on, hi Don, thank you for getting on. Whoever's getting on, I want us to engage and talk about this conversation, because our first, like we talked about before, our first week was about kind of what is mental health and understanding the different spaces with mental health. We'll ask for you to go back and watch our YouTube with that discussion. And if you haven't subscribed, we want you to subscribe.
Yes.
Yeah, so week 2, we had a conversation, and we have an amazing young lady that came on. Dominique came on with us last week, and what were we talking about then? I think we were kind of
Last week was social media, and
kind of the
social
trap.
media affects our mental state.
There was that, what are some of the traps that we had, and we wanted to kind of cover kind of that secret space that a lot of the young people don't know that they have, kind of touched in, and even as adults that we don't even know that we don't know how that can trap us into a space where we are. Yeah. So with selfie night tonight, being able to say, hey, if you find yourself in this space, here are some of the self-care things that you can do to actually help you within the space, right? Because we understand that self-care is absolutely necessary. Hi, Nicole. Thanks for getting on, Nick. Hi. I want you guys to make sure while y'all getting on, though, y'all asking me some questions, asking us some questions, and y'all getting involved. Dolores just came on.
Hi, Dolores.
Hi, much needed mental illness awareness. Absolutely. Yes, continue, Deborah, and us, kind of pushing us through this conversation today.
And feel free, everyone, ask your questions as you're jumping on. Feel free to engage. We want those questions. So self-care. So where do we start? Like, why is self-care so important? Like I said a few minutes ago, it's so important because you can't help other people if you don't help yourself first. And it's so important to take care of yourself, and that's physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, psychologically, in every aspect of the word.
So just I found there are 8 areas of that social care, and so you kind of hit on it: physical, social care. So we'll talk about that, right? As to what are some of the things you can do for physical. You said psychological. What can we do? Emotional, right? So emotional is absolutely one that we find in a lot of ourselves. We find in our, kind of a pitfall in because of the COVID and stuff that we've been dealing with. Social, being self-care, how to be in your space. Professional. I found that there's a self-care environmental. You said self-care spiritual, right? I thought that there's even self-care when it comes financial. So these areas of self-care all revolves around, if you can get all of these 8 areas intact, it's almost kind of a promise that you'll be on the right path that you need in order to be a blessing to other people, right? So I can't love my neighbor until I love myself. I gotta get that self-love down pat and that self-care down pat. Other than that, what we're gonna be. And so this is just a 30-minute call, guys. So a conversation. So y'all got to jump in there. We're already 10 minutes in. That's huge that you was able to mention and help us kind of understand there are different areas. So it's more than just, this one thing, it's 8 areas. Yes.
That's so good. And that you mentioned even the financial, because I wouldn't even have considered financial as a self-care.
Yeah, could you imagine how this is kind of some of the issues that we find ourselves in because financially we're not, you know,
Right.
caring for ourselves in those matters. So we're finding ourselves overflow, you know what I'm saying? We're just, finding ourselves in debt, finding ourselves,
Yeah,
kind of overcommitted in so many areas because we're
that's
not
good.
in that self-care space.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. So what are some things that we can do for our physical, let's say, for our physical self-care? Um,
Going down physical. So we're gonna go down a list. Physical. All right, y'all taking notes, right? Because Deborah and I, we want y'all to get engaged now. One of the things physical, of course, is going to the gym, working out,
yes,
right?
working out, lift
You're
some
a
weights, do
fitness
some
lady.
cardio. That's
Yeah.
a great, and that's for me, like that's my mental therapy space. That's my
Yeah.
happy place.
That's
So I go to the gym frequently, and I use a saying sometimes: the gym is cheaper than therapy.
because it's still releasing the
Mhm.
necessary. I'm gonna keep on saying that because it's mental, it's
Yep.
still releasing when you exercise. Don said yoga. Yes. I did
Yes.
yoga this morning. Yeah. Oh my,
Water. Stephanie said water. Yes.
what?
So
So good.
important.
We are
So
75%
important.
water, and we're missing the opportunity to give ourselves what we need. That's
Yes.
made of that. So good. I love you said that, Stephanie. Absolutely. What are
And
other things? Go ahead.
on top of the water, proper nutrition. For me, I find when I'm not eating right, when I'm eating, a lot of fast food and just eating out and just junk food, I just don't feel good. And I feel like I'm sluggish and just slow, and it's just my body doesn't feel good and I don't want to do anything. And so it's just I'm dragging. So when I'm not eating right, that for me is not good.
Yeah. Oh, this is good. Don said having still time to your.
Mm,
Now that
that's
is
good.
one of the pillars of self-care is actually having that still time. You just hit on like one of the rockets. To have that still time to yourself. Absolutely. I don't care if you're driving. I don't care if you're in the, wherever you're at, to be able sometimes to just go to the side and take that moment. There we go.
Mhm.
That will affect our physical, but I think some of us is tapping into the space that this can actually help emotionally. I don't know
Yes.
what's that, so it's some connections there. So you want to go into that emotional space, like, okay, what is
Mhm.
that? What does that look like for self-care?
So for the emotional self-care, like you can do that some stress management, forgiving of any forgive yourself, forgive those in your past. Um, You can also journaling that helps your emotional state as well. I know for me, like I tend to journal some of my emotions when I'm having whatever issues or I'm feeling down. For me, journaling sometimes getting my thoughts out, it helps just to get it out.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
This is good. I definitely some of y'all gave that meditation. Yeah. We talked about.
meditation. That's a good one.
Yeah, so here we are with emotional. I want to name a couple that I did find. One of them is, we talked about the spending time alone, putting yourself first, can help
Mm.
space, asking for what you need in that emotional space. Staying at home sometimes when everybody's going out can help you in that emotional space. Saying
Yes.
no, just saying no, right?
Yes.
You got a hard time of saying no. That is an emotional space. We get a hard time. Some of us got to learn to say no. It helps us in our emotional space, being able to know your capacity. And sometimes we don't have it. Say taking a step back allows you an
Mm.
opportunity sometimes to get that self-care for you. So say, okay, let me take a step back, right? And I think the last one was asking for help,
I
right?
like
So
that.
writing it down, definitely. Okay, Dolores, you're going before us now. See there. The Lord's already moving fast. All right, that's emotional. I know if y'all following, y'all watching the comments, the Lord's just probably going to take us into our number 3. What's it?
And giving yourself permission to take a pause, giving yourself permission and showing yourself grace, and that it's okay to take that step back. I know a lot of people put a lot of pressure on themselves and don't allow themselves to stop, or they guilt themselves for wanting to take a break.
Yeah,
that break it's much needed. You need some time to rejuvenate, to reset, so that you have more to give. It's a constant balance that we have to find.
Absolutely. I think since Dolores has said it, let's go into that third one. Spiritual. Yeah. So self-care in the spiritual aspect. I always say we 3-part being, and for some reason we want to miss that spirit part out. We want to feed everything else, but we're missing the opportunity for that, feeding that spirit man in you. You know, so I always say if you're not a believer, you're now, you know, I want to say you're not putting yourself in the best position to win. I do believe if you are practicing, understanding your 3-part being, and your spiritual man is being fed, and you're giving self-care in that space, I do believe you got a better chance at winning. And so here we go, Dolores. Prayer is one of them.
Yes,
absolutely one of them.
ways
to make sure that you self-care in that spiritual aspect of things.
I do find sometimes when I get super busy with just life, things constantly going on, I find that sometimes prayer and church is sometimes the first to go. And it's like, oh, I don't have time. I'll make time, or I'll make time later. And then later it never comes. And I keep pushing it back. But after a while, it's like, okay, something is missing. Oh, what am I not doing? Oh, it's church. I'm not spending time in the Word. I'm not going to church. I'm not spending time worshiping. And it's usually that piece that's missing. And once I bring that piece back into my life, it's, you know, I find peace, and things slowly start to come together again. So yes, prayer is definitely very important and at the top of the list. So in incorporating regular acts of kindness into the day and showing gratitude to others. That is also a huge one.
Yeah, I see. Lanika came on and said, amen. Lanika say, listen here. That's it right there. Absolutely. So thanks for jumping on. And so I see even a thumbs up, right? So that means we about to have, no, we're not going to have church, y'all. You see, y'all trying to, I know who did that thumb, just tried to start something with us. But yes, understanding the create that balance. So if you're praying, if you're not finding some times, just a few minutes, you know, we all, one of the things we know that the Bible sometimes is intimidating for some people. So everybody just don't feel confident in reading it. So of course, I'm all about read a proverb, right? Open up, read a Psalms, and those are some of it's less ye, thee, and they, and machine in there, okay? But get into a space where you're at least reading something for yourself, and allowing the word to, and also praying before you even read that, like, give me understanding. And so, yes, y'all got to start putting that into your day, having some devotion time in that area.
That's good.
Yeah. Where else? What we have next?
So from after the spiritual, we talked about emotional, physical, spiritual, financial. The financial one, being in debt, going on shopping sprees, and not having. I try to stick to a monthly budget, and that's huge because you always want to have something to set aside.
That's it.
Every month you want to pay yourself, and you want to set something aside for emergencies, so that just if anything ever happens, you always have that security to where you're going to be okay, because you never know what's going to come up. And then taking care of that debt. You don't want to always be living to pay off your debt, student loans or credit card debt, or whatever the case may be. So that budget is huge.
So you tapped on so much when you said budget, though. You tapped on so much. You went fast to us.
I'm sorry.
You got to slow down for some of us. Some of them, I don't think they got it. You said it all in this one sentence.
I did.
Under budget, but there's so many things she just said, right? Because we understand that in the space of financial self-care, this is the space that really causes for a lot of, if we're honest with ourselves, we can truly say this is really gets us down. This really gets the best of us in this financial space. And so here's a couple steps. She said, number one, create a budget. Yes, you need a budget, being able to make it clear of the things that you have that you need to take care of, and understanding what are your wants and being able to eliminate what that looks like, right? If it's not coinciding with the coins, okay? Coincide with coin, okay? Tracking your spending, making sure you're keeping an eye on your funds. A lot of us don't track our funds. I can say, sometimes for me, I only look at the account once a month when that's not okay. You got to track those funding. You set the goals for your future spending and your future habits. So yeah, you want to do stuff in the future. You want to go on vacation. Okay, probably not now, but in a few months, yes. Know where you lack financial literacy. Know where you lack financial literacy and to get yourself some help. Let us be clear. People perish for the lack of knowledge. And at the end of the day, this is when we get over our heads with some of the things that we are saying we want. Oh, I want my Louis Vuitton. No, that ain't what your coinage don't create that. Okay. When you just go ahead and get the person we can afford. Okay. And then she said, pay off your debt as soon as possible, because that when people, I don't know if you ever paid off debt before, but it's not by accident that you feel lighter. It's not by accident that you feel more relieved. It's not by accident. Why? Because that financial space, you don't know that you're carrying it, but you are carrying it. You don't know that you're really carrying those burden, but you are. Student loans. I mean, I almost wanted to open up a prayer line for student loans. Everybody got a student loan. Prayer line. I'm telling you, because that thing be holding on, like holding on to people. I'm telling you. So yes, that financial space is absolutely huge. Stephanie came on budgeting for a balanced life. Absolutely. Yes. Lonika said, yes, come on and get the budget. Absolutely. So making sure that part of self-care is done. I love the 4 hearts that we got. We got hearts today. I love the hearts that you guys are giving. And absolutely, this is us trying to say, hey, we're just giving what we know. This is tips. Yeah, just some tips. That's it. We're not coming in as professionals in the space. We're just saying, here is from our experience. And that's what America's Big Sister is all about, is the Big Sisters coming on and said, hey, as Big Sisters, I've been there. I've done that. And here I am with more experience. Sometimes they say that's the best teacher. Listen, y'all, some of y'all don't have the experience. If y'all listen, when people tell me that's the best teacher, I'll be like, I don't know. If you teach, you tell me, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to listen to what you got to say. I'm going to take, you've already experienced it for me. Okay. So yeah, so good. So good. What we got? We got a few more minutes, guys. So y'all jumping on. I love some of the comments. Let's keep on commenting. And so we knocked out the area of physical. We knocked out
emotional, spiritual, financial, social. Why is social self-care so important? So socially, I think it's important to have people that you're surrounded by, to surround yourself with a positive social environment.
That's so
positive is key. Something my dad used to say, show me your friends and I'll show you who you are.
Show me your friends and I'll show you your future. I said
that's good. Growing up, I never understood what that meant. I was like, what does that even mean?
Yes. I love it.
As an adult now, it makes so much sense, because it's so true. If you're surrounded by a positive group of people, they will uplift you and when you need it and encourage you, and you can do the same for others. But if you're around negative, they're eventually going to bring you down. It's going to be so hard to thrive in a negative environment.
That's good. That's so good. So, I mean, we're getting good. Look, that's good, Deborah. Yes, that is good. Stephanie says,
Thank you, Lanika. Surround with people that feed you. Yes, emotionally, spiritually. Yes. And understand your financial goals. So good, Stephanie.
Yeah. So I need you guys to kind of begin to tap that in. Show me your friends and I'll show you your future. Because again, in that social space, it's absolutely important that we make those. I never understood why my grandmother would always also tell me, you don't got a friends, you got associates. And I used to be like, I do have friends. Wanted, and here's me just kind of looking at it now. She really wanted me to be, make sure I separate the two to stop me from buying into so many of the, understanding who is in my inner circle, right? Of people and being able to, what I did find out, or I should say what I did do, I became a protector of that space because of to be so hard on me about that. I began to be a protector of that space. So people would tell you, my circle is, I don't put everybody in the circle. Exactly. I just don't do it. And so I'm happy that I did get that from Granny. Guys, we only got a few more minutes. I was talking to the professionals.
So good.
Yeah.
This is so good.
So professional self-care, here are some examples for that. Take some short breaks at work, especially if you're sitting at a desk. Enjoy your lunch breaks, take an opportunity to enjoy it. So if there's some outside areas for you to go and sit outside at your, just separate yourself from your working space and go and eat. A lot of times we want to go eat at our desk. And then as you know, we up here, no, separate yourself from your desk. Leave work.
What about if you're, sorry to interrupt you, Tragil, but what if you're working from home? So you're working at the kitchen table, same place where you're eating dinner, and a few feet away is the living room, and you can't separate yourself from where
I can go outside. I work from home. So I work from home. And so I step outside a lot of times. And even if I go, again, different weathers require different things.
Yeah.
But I'll go for a walk around the block sometimes to add to that moment to reset, because that's what lunch is prepared for, reset. So a lot of us get so in one day, we're wiped away because we're building on. We're not letting brains take a minute for a break. Okay. Yes. So that's what I mean. Like that lunch break is to make sure the brain go lunching. Let the brain go lunching.
give the brain a break. You need a brain break.
Yeah. Definitely take your vacation days and your sick days.
Yes.
We be trying to hold on to them forever. No, you gotta take them. I want my money. Some people get money back and you'd be like, no, we gotta take them.
Yes.
Form some supportive relationships with like-minded people at your job. We do. I remember one young lady.
That's huge.
Yeah. Like I remember one young lady will always come and her testimony would be like, at work, there are some people that don't like me, or at work, my boss is so hard on me, and it took so much emotions from her to where, it was like, she just want to give up her whole career because of it. Yeah. And so we find ourselves in that situation when it's like, hey, find out what it looks like. Bishop Hilliard, I remember him saying, go with the goers and do with the doers. Okay.
That's good.
Ain't with you, and that's okay.
So
everybody
good.
For you ain't for you. Go with the goers and do it with the doers. Hey, that's it. So
that's so good.
Good one. That's a good one. Y'all gotta write that down. Don,
I remember I used to get so bogged down because I was trying to be friends with everyone in the work environment, and I was focused on those that didn't want to be my friends. And it was like, why don't you want to be my friend? Like I'm in elementary school or something. But when you find those that you connect with and they're positive in your work environment, hold on to them and stick together. And it's not everyone that you have to befriend, because everyone isn't on the same path as you.
Absolutely. We're at 30. We had to. I guess we can kind of shoot it out there. The psychological one, I think we already kind of really put out there already. I think we did that psychological, going for a walk. I saw Dawn even wrote out that she look out the window.
Out the window. And walk down the street.
Yeah, walking down the street, physical self-care and psychological is kind of being that's taking a bath, bathing,
Yes.
Getting enough sleep. So I think we got to make sure we get that sleep time in. And of course, you mentioned eating the nourishing food. So I think we crosses in some of these spaces a lot when we talk about that self-care space, psychological, because that's where it's all gonna end up, kind of benefiting in the end. I will say even that vitamin D.
Yes.
A lot of our vitamin D is low.
Sun.
Listen, we have to do
sun.
Yeah. That final one was environmental. Because again, see, y'all I gotta take y'all fast now because y'all done made me miss up now. Now y'all got us talking so long. The environmental, your household, what's around you. Number one for self-care is decluttering.
That's good.
That is something that we don't understand. It is affecting our mental space. It does affect us. It does take us off when we're living in a house with clutter. We got to declutter. We don't understand where all the stress coming from, but your house got so much, we missing that moment. Okay. Monitoring our technology time. So because it's environmental, it's what's in our household, it's what's around us. We got to do something different. So even when it comes to, I'm a TV person, I know that's technology listen, Miss White, you got to turn off the TV, like you say, then sit in some silence for a minute, and then just cleaning up, so decluttering and just kind of maintaining that safe living environment, right? Yep. That will help you so much. Woo, y'all.
It's definitely refreshing. Like when you declutter, get rid of some things and straighten up. It's very refreshing.
Like I zone out when I'm decluttering. I don't even someone said one time, like, man, do you know you've been in there for 8 hours? Like I zone out when I have a closet that's insane. And I have to do this decluttering very often. So yes, we got to do it. That's your environmental. So those are your awesome things that we want to make sure you guys knew. Say thanks, lady. I've enjoyed every moment. Jump in.
Thank you so much, Lanika.
Thanks for jumping on. And so again, we promise that we'll give you guys what we got as big sisters, and that's what we've done.
Good.
And thank you to my co-host, Deborah O, for being in the building all the time and being here and prepared and giving us. We will be on next week. So look at
Memorial Day weekend, Memorial Monday.
It's the last one.
This is the final one. Next week will be the final one.
And so it's on Monday, and it'll be after. Is it okay? Memorial Day weekend. What's that final one? I think we have
positivity.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So we just feel like every time you guys think that you know what we're gonna talk about, but you don't even know because the way
you don't even know.
You don't even know.
You ain't ready.
They don't until they get on. They be like, "Whoa, man, that's a good stuff." And so for sure we'll be on next week. If you're looking at the bottom, there's this piece that is going around. I should say the streamline here. I just wanted to just give you guys some information on that. What it is inviting you on our next live, actually, not for this particular conversation of May mental health, but in month of May, we are looking for 20 people to be a part of our 360 Club. So we'll be on our social media. It's called a Social-thon, and I'll be on Wednesday, May 26th at 7 p.m. I'll be on. I want you guys to jump in on a 360 Club. This is $1 a day. Going to americasbigsisters.com to sign up for it. You can give a one-time fee, but we really wanted to, get some of you guys involved and becoming one of our members. So for our 20 members that say yes to the ones that we're trying to do, we're giving them a ticket to our huge fundraiser that we do every year in August in Chicago. And if you're not in Chicago, whatever city you're in, you have the right to have one ticket to our event that we'll be hosting in your city. The next thing we're doing is giving us this T-shirt. It's Gold Girls, because that's what the dollars are for. They're for our Gold Girls program, which is Girls on Another Level. So you get your Girls on Another Level exclusive T-shirt. We're excited about that. The Girls on Another Level is Gold Girls, and it's for our motherless teen daughters. And so we definitely want you guys to jump in and become definitely a sponsor for that. When I think about $1 a month, I instantly think of coffee. Some of us need our coffee every single day. And I promise you, Starbucks is not playing with us, okay? Man, Starbucks is $6, $5. You're walking out there a day. All we're saying is $1 a day. By the time the end of the year is done, you would have donated $2.70, and that is something huge for us. These dollars are going to make sure that our program continues to go forward throughout our year. So if you're still on and you want to say yes, I'll be one. I know, Don, if you're still on, I'm not sure if you got back in and signed yourself up, because I do remember you changed your debit card. So I remember you saying you wanted to go back in. Just go to americasbigsister.com and you'll see donate. You'll go to that first thing. It says the partnership space. Yes, Chicago born, live in Houston, Texas now. Oh man, that's so awesome. That's me too. What we got a on the line. So yeah, Lanika. So that's it. Chicago born. If you're from Chicago, you definitely know that's where we host the program at for sure. Thanks, Stephanie, for putting it on. And so we do have, Stephanie just actually placed it on the page in the comments that you can kind of tap into to be a part of that. And say if you're thinking about it, whatever. But I know on that day, on Wednesday, I'm gonna be shouting you out. Definitely get the shout out. For some people, they don't want to get shout out, and that's fine. I ain't got to shout you out. Listen here. Some people just say, hey, it's on my heart. I just want to be able to give back, and that's absolutely okay. We are a 501c3, so you will be able to get a tax deduction from your giving. And some people, definitely need that tax deduction. And if that's it, I think so. We just want you guys to come on and get involved and be a part of what we're doing. Yes. So we love you guys. If you love what we talked about, just go ahead and donate. We don't do it for the funds at all. We do it because we understand this ministry. For us, it's a calling for us to be able to help. And it's like no limits for us when it comes to us giving back. I know myself, I know Deborah, we do things outside of this YouTube to help, the younger people. And so we just ask for your support. So that's it. We thank you. It's the end of our broadcast. We'll talk to you guys.
Bye, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. I hope you enjoyed it.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. All right, Deborah.